It's high noon in Nashville, Tennessee. That can mean only one thing. It's Dental Profits webinar series. I'm Sean Crabtree. Stay with us. The number one topic that we deal with so often is the conversation that we're going to talk about today. And here it is. I'm going to say it. I'm going to throw it right out there to you, and then I want to get your comments. You ready? Get over it. Get over it. You're in sales. I want to know what you think about that statement. I want to know your comments. I want to know any negative connotations that you have to that word, and I want us to talk about that during this conversation. I got my phone right here. I'm going to be looking at your comments. Mr. Producer, you're going to keep us on track. And so I should see all those right here. And if I don't, you will, correct?
I will.
Okay. Get over it. You are in sales. Let's talk about this. If you are a dentist, if you are a dental specialist, if you are a healthcare specialist, if you're a CPA, if you're a yoga instructor, if you're an attorney, if you are a financial advisor, you are in sales. Now, we spend a lot of time teaching our clientele. We spend a lot of time on this channel, on some of our other channels, talking about how to sell, talking about the concept of what it means, what it looks like, how to do it from, A to Z, start to finish. But you know what? How to do it doesn't matter. None of that matters unless or until, if I'm listening to this or watching this, none of that matters unless or until I am convinced that yes, I am in sales. So therefore, I've got to go embrace the concept before I can ever learn how to do it. What I'd like to challenge you on in this conversation that we're going to have, you and I, over the next little bit, is I want you to get past the point that you're in sales. I want you to get to the point where you're going, yes, I totally understand I'm in sales, so you can go to the next step and not just walk through the learning process of how to do it, but embrace it with an appetite. If you understand that the number one thing that I would throw at you today is if you understand that nothing in your business happens unless or until somebody is influenced through sales. I would even go a step further and say this. Nothing in life happens, right? Unless the people around you or me are influenced and sold. I mean, that's it. Now, we can get into and quibble about the nuances of all of that. But conceptually, it's the same, right? Influence is selling. And it's all a part and parcel of this whole conversation. You've got to understand that you are in sales before you can embrace the concept and have a huge appetite to be able to learn the steps of how to do it. So I'm curious to know, why is it that people have such a hard time with this concept of being in sales? I'll tell you a quick story. Several years ago, it's been several years ago now, probably 10 or 12 years ago, one of my former clients had asked me to speak to the head of the practice management department at the university. I think that was his title, at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. And he wanted me to come speak to the fourth year urology students. Interesting group of people, I can tell you. Not that I'm teasing, and I'm not knocking you guys who are in urology, but I'd say interesting group of people. Tough crowd, but interesting group of people. Right, Mr. Producer?
That's right. Yeah.
So anyway, these guys had asked me to come speak to these students, and so I was talking with them about the concepts of marketing and sales, and I kept getting these wrinkled up noses, and honestly, it got to the point where it was a little bit uncomfortable, and I finally just had to address it. It's a big room of people, and I finally said, "Guys, is there a problem?" And everybody in the room turned their head to the back of the room and looked at the gentleman in the back. And the old guy in the back sort of stood up and cleared his throat and said, "Mr. Crabtree, we all understand that as healthcare clinicians, we are above general aspects of business or this concept of sales. And the way he said the word sales, it's like like he was regurgitating just a little bit. I mean, he had this face like maybe he was, it was upsetting his stomach even to say the words. So we started walking through the conversation. Okay. How do you guys then, as urologists, when you plan on getting out in the world, how do you get your business? Well, referrals from general practitioners of medicine. So how do you encourage those referrals? Answer, sales. Answer, marketing, right? How do you develop your reputation in terms of value in the marketplace? Answer, sales. Marketing, right? I mean, all of those are kind of intertwined. Long and the short of it is, I don't know that those guys ever fully embraced the fact that they were in sales. I think I got to some of the guys who were in the audience, but they were kind of doing it like they were giving me the nod of the head, but they were doing it in secret because they didn't want the guy in the back to. They didn't want the guy in the back to to know that they were getting it. But you know what? It is just a fact of life. I heard someone say one time, the best study of life is not how you think it should be. It's how it actually is. And here is the way it is. You are in sales. I understand that you spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of money to become a great tactician, a great clinician, a great technician of whatever it is that you do in your industry. But guess what? You don't get to do any of that. All of those things, by the way, the tactical, technical, clinical aspects of what you do, those are all geared toward helping people, right? But here's the trick. You don't get to do all of that and help people at the highest level unless or until you can sell it. You got to be able to sell yourself, your team, your time, your product, your service, your industry. If you can't sell those things, then you don't get to practice the technical, tactical, clinical aspects of the things that are going to actually allow you to help people at the highest level. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So before I can really have a large appetite to go and learn the how-to of sales, I've got to be convinced between my own ears that yes, I am in sales, and yes, I've got to go embrace that concept. Why is it that people have such a challenge with that? The things that I've heard over the years are, and again, I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. The things that I've heard over the years are salespeople are manipulative. Salespeople are pushy, right? You know, I don't disagree that there are salespeople out there who are pushy, salespeople out there who are manipulative, right? Lots of people, when I ask them, what is their connotation? What references do they have when I say the word sales? You know, they think of a vacuum cleaner salesman, or they think of a car salesman, or whatever. And not that there's any, there are great car salesman people out there. There are great vacuum cleaner salesman people out there. And yes, there are also not so great vacuum cleaner and salesman, and car salespeople out there. But here's the thing. Just because there are pushy people in a particular industry doesn't mean that the industry is bad. Because I would go a step further. And I'd say that if you look in your industry, in your service industry, there are pushy dentists out there. There are pushy healthcare practitioners. There are pushy healthcare specialists. There are pushy yoga instructors. There are pushy CPAs and attorneys and judges and politicians, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So I can't classify a particular profession by how some of its people are reacting. That's just a fact of human nature, right? Sales itself has nothing whatsoever to do with being pushy. It has nothing whatsoever to do with being manipulative. It has nothing whatsoever to do with being aggressive, or any of those other things that you might connotate negatively to that word. And if I understand that sales is a good thing, if I understand that my success is dependent upon my ability to sell, I mean, my ability, let me say it differently, my ability to help people at the highest level is really dependent upon my ability I don't get to perform that help unless I can sell it, right? So I've got to get clear in my head that there may be pushy people out there in every industry, but sales itself has nothing to do with being pushy or being manipulative. Let me give you a different idea of the way I define sales. I look at sales very simply as nothing more than making friends, right? How do you make friends? I mean, of course, there's lots of ways to make friends, but one of the ways that you make a friend, one of the ways you get close to somebody is you find out something that they need, and you have them see value in you giving it to them. Right? I mean, that's it. Finding out what people want and then give it to them. That's making friends. It's also sales. I've got to understand that really sales is like making friends. If I can get that in my head, then maybe I can go further and get past some of these negative connotations and get into the fact that, yeah, I got to get over it. You know what? I am absolutely in sales. And that's what this show is all about every single week. It's about you having happier clients, better results, making more money, but it's also about enjoying the ride. I think people I could be wrong, but I would submit that there are people out there who are listening and watching this right now. And if you're one of those people, then give me a thumbs up. You understand maybe that, hey, for me to be successful at the highest level, yes, I understand theoretically I got to be great at sales, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm still referencing some negative connotation to that word. Listen, if that's kind of where you are, then you're never going to go full out. Even if you learn the steps, you're never going to go embrace the concept at the highest level. And what I would like you to do is, as I said a moment ago, create an appetite for it so that your focus is not simply on the technical aspects or the delivery of the clinical or tactical things that you do. That's not your only focus. An equal or even maybe majority focus is, how do I create value? How do I influence the people around me? And how do I sell my services, my team, my products, my time? If I have an appetite for embracing sales at that kind of level, then I can have a really high focus on that aspect of my business. And that is the business part of your business. The delivery of the services and the goods, that helps people, but you don't get to do that at the highest level unless you can focus on the sales aspects, which is the business part of your business. And that's what I'd like to create with you in this concept. I mean, in this particular conversation that we're having. What are the negative things that you connotate with it? Let's get over those, right? Let's get through those and face the facts that for me to be as successful as I possibly can be, I have to equate success with my ability to sell at the highest level. There's nothing negative about that. There's nothing manipulative about that. There's nothing pushy about that. I determine all of those things. Let's talk about another aspect of this. If I truly believe in my ability, my products, my services, my intention, if I truly believe in those things and my ability because of that to help people at the highest level, why in the world would I be afraid of embracing the concepts of sales? Why in the world, what in the world would hold me back from that? If I truly believe in my intention, my products and my services, why wouldn't I do everything in my power to have the people around me see the value in those things? Whatever it takes so that I can help them at the highest level. Great question. And I think that's probably one of the things that we maybe need to take a look at. If you're holding yourself back because you're afraid to go after the selling part of it, maybe you need to take a look at this. I mean, really at the deepest level, do you believe in your product? Do you believe in your ability to help people at the highest level? Do you believe in the services that you and your team provide with the time that you allocate to your customers, your patients, or your clients? You really need to take a look at that. Because if you don't, you're never going to embrace the concepts of sales. If you don't embrace the concepts of sales, you're never going to be as successful as you possibly can be. So, sales is pushy, sales is manipulative. Total myth. Blow it out of the water. Now, a moment ago I said the number one thing I started off with this conversation is that nothing happens in your business, or even I said in your life, unless or until somebody is influenced. Now think about that for a minute. As a parent, forget business for a second. As a parent, don't you have to have the ability to sell your children on your beliefs, on your attitudes, on your values in this family, this culture that we call our family? And if you don't have the ability to sell your children on that, then there are plenty of other people in this world that they're going to interact with that are going to sell them and influence their way of thinking. And I'd be willing to bet you that you as a parent have a much better idea of what's best for them than somebody that might run into on the street corner who's selling some kind of drugs or whatever. Mr. Producer, what is the I kept hearing on the news this week about some new health challenges that they're having with this synthetic marijuana. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Actually, I don't. I haven't seen anything about that.
Good man. So your parents influenced you.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll take that as an answer. The bottom line is, if I'm a parent, if you're a parent, you have to adopt and embrace the concept of sales, because you've got to sell your children on your beliefs and attitudes and values, or the guy on the street corner who's selling the synthetic marijuana is going to sell them on his or her beliefs, attitudes, and values, and probably not the best approach for your children. So, sales is manipulative, sales is pushy. Throw that out the window. Nothing in life happens unless or until the people are somehow sold and influenced. And it's not negative, and it's not pushy, and it's not manipulative, and all of those negative things that go with it, that you might be thinking about it. You know what? Throw them out the window. Your intention determines whether you're pushy, whether you're manipulative. Your intention determines whether you're aggressive, right? Sales has nothing whatsoever to do with that. And the concept of influencing people has nothing whatsoever to do with all of those things that some people, not you guys, but some people might connotate to that word sales. So that's my big challenge to you. Get over it. You're in sales. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker you can embrace and create an appetite for yourself to go out and learn the steps of becoming a master at it. And that's the only way that you can deliver your intention, your services, your products, and help the people around you, your clients, your customers, and your patients at the highest level. And that's what I want for you. I want you to get over it, because I want you to realize you're in sales so that you can enjoy that success. And at the end of the day, have happier clients, better results, make more money, and enjoy the ride. I'm Sean Crabtree. If you want to learn more about those steps, if you've embraced the fact that you're in sales, we have a great step-by-step broken down over the course of, how many modules is it, Mr. Producer? Like 8 modules, I think?
I think it's
8 modules. We have a great sales course that can show you exactly how to do that from the moment that you answer the phone all the way through the process until you present the financial. We got a special on that right now. Find us at thecrabtreegroup.com. Share all of these videos. Sign up for that course. We have a special going on right now. If you're listening to this, head over there right now and go check that out. I'm Sean Crabtree. I'll see you next week on Dental Profits. Happier clients, better results, making more money, and enjoying the ride.